Whoa. Hi. I feel like in this light I'm going to look incredibly pale, but that's because I am, so... The summer sun hasn't been doing my skin colour any good. I still look a bit like the walls, but let's ignore that and just get straight into this video. Hi, my name is Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. And today I'm going to talk about a topic that I have been asked about many a time through Instagram mostly. People message me asking how to get out of a book slump and how to just get more motivated to read. To be honest, all the tips that I've been giving have just been what I assume would help someone, but for the past 2 years I myself have been in a reading slump, which I do tell these people. I'm not just like kind of pretending that I know everything about reading. I'm about to go into year 12, and since the summer before year 10 I have just not been reading pretty much at all, but I want to change that. And I hope that if you're in a reading slump too, you can also change that. I think almost everyone has experienced a reading slump at least once in their lives. If you haven't, you're incredibly lucky. I hope you never have to experience the pain. But as a precautionary measure, you know, you can watch this video and figure out how to catch yourself early and sort yourself out and throw that reading slump out of your life, because nobody needs them. On my phone I have basically prepared a boot camp. It is a commitment that I'm making to you, that you are going to make to me, and we're going to crush our reading slumps together. We're gonna break our slumps. It's gonna happen. First things first, when you hear somebody say that if you've got a reading slump, just let it pass, don't listen to them. I did that 2 years ago, it still hasn't gone. Not the best tip. You're gonna have to want it. It's going to be a bit hardcore, and I think that the very first step is to make reading a habit. My mum always told me that it takes 21 days to form a habit, and then you should feel absolutely comfortable doing it and it won't feel like a chore. I hate it when reading feels like a chore because I know that I love it, but in order to bring my mindset back to the desire to read every single day, I'm going to read every single night, minimum 10 pages, for at least 21 days straight. And hopefully that will become an automatic part of my routine after 3 weeks, where every single night before I fall asleep I get in a bit of reading. Personally for me, I think that's the best time to do it because it's kind of winding down after a stressful day and it's something to do instead of looking at my phone. The reason why I say 10 pages rather than like 20 minutes or 10 minutes is because when I'm setting goals, I like to make it something that is measurable, in the sense that if I said 10 minutes, that leaves me completely open to procrastinate and finish a page or a chapter, then leave myself an extra 2 minutes just to wait for the 10 minutes to end. By setting a page goal, you are committing yourself to a particular amount of a book being read rather than just a time frame where you're trying to read a bit of it and you're not really wanting to and you're a bit unmotivated. Set a page count. It doesn't have to be incredible and unrealistic, because if you do that, there's no way you're going to do it. Make it something as small as 10 pages, and then you can work your way up maybe to 15 pages after a week. And then after 21 days, we will be set in our, even if it's just a little bit of reading every day. Don't be afraid to DNF a book. That being said, do not get into a habit of it. If you are reading something and you are certain that you won't enjoy it, sure, put it down, pick up another book, but try and figure out what it is about that book that you didn't enjoy and make sure that you don't pick up another book that is similar in that way. Also, if you DNF a book one chapter in, you're not giving it enough time to pull you in. More often than not, a book isn't able to suck someone into the story in as short a time as one chapter. If it does, that's great, keep going. But if it doesn't, give it a bit more time, get a bit more into the story, and hopefully you won't have to DNF it. But if you really feel like you're gonna hate it, just put it down, forget about it, pick up another one, don't lose your motivation, keep going. Start with small books. Of course the amount of books that you read isn't everything, but it sure as hell can be a good motivator to finish a book or finish 2 books or even 3 or as many as you want to finish. It's also quite helpful to have something small as a commitment to, rather than something such as The Priory of the Orange Tree or Queen of Air and Darkness or this whole trilogy or Kingdom of Ash. These are some huge books which if you commit yourself to when you're in a book slump, it's not going to turn out very well, as I know myself because I still haven't finished this book. The idea of a smaller book will definitely push you to read something more because it doesn't seem as daunting, and then slowly you can work your way up to books that are over 1,000 pages long if that's what you like. But definitely remember, your goal is to read, not to read a lot of books. The reading part is the important part, so even if it takes you a really long time to get through a small book and that makes you feel even less motivated, you're still reading and that is your goal. Just don't let anything get you down. You're the only thing stopping you in this situation, definitely, okay? If you don't have time, you liar, you have time, find time. There is always time to read 10 pages in a day. You're lying in bed, stay awake for an extra 15 minutes, read 10 pages. and make it a habit. And before you know it, you'll be reading throughout the entire day in any little break that you have. If you don't know where to start, pick a book out of a hat. Write down any book that interests you and pick it out the hat, and if you don't want to read it, genuinely think about it. If you really don't want to read it, you can pick another one. But if you just don't want to read it because it's a book, read it, okay? If you're certain that you don't want to read it, figure out why. Take out all the books from the hat that would give you the same reason not to read it. And eventually you could be left with just two. Flip a coin. I always find that if I flip a coin whilst it's in the air, I've already decided which decision I'd rather it make for me. Finding a book shouldn't be too difficult, but obviously having a nice book to start your battle with your reading slump with can make it a much nicer experience. Reread if you want. Rereading is perfectly fine and definitely allowed. So are audiobooks. One way to fit in a bunch of reading in the day is if you've got a job or just a lifestyle that involves lots of driving around or lots of commuting, just stick your headphones in, get an audiobook. Also, if you're doing chores around the house, listen to an audiobook rather than just sitting in silence or listening to music. Because audiobooks are actually available to everybody. You don't actually have to pay. YouTube has a lot of them. Probably illegally put online, but they're still there. You just have to look a bit. I definitely recommend Crazy Rich Asians as an audiobook, and I quite enjoyed Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom as audiobooks as well. I found those on YouTube. Also the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy. They've got those. That counts as reading. Anybody who tells you it doesn't is just a liar who pretends they don't have time to read when really they've got audiobooks available to them as well, so. And the last thing that I've put down is making some time to write a list of what reading does to benefit you and why you personally love to read. I've got lots of things that make reading important to me and special to me, and I'm sure that you have those reasons as well. I think that listing these and seeing them in front of you can really remind you why it is you're doing this. It may seem quite tiring, but I think that the reasons behind battling your slump are what's going to get you through ultimately. Everyone's reasons are different. Some of mine personally are, it helps me learn. It's an incredibly fun experience most of the time. Books can completely change your emotions. They can be funny, they can make you cry, they can make you smile, they can make you question life. They just make you ask a lot of questions. I'm definitely someone who asks a lot of questions about everything. I just really love to learn. So I think that that's what reading brings to me. It's also a chance to escape. It's an experience, and I'm sure there are so many more reasons as to why reading is important, but even if you can only think of one or two things, writing them down and just thinking about them will give you that extra push to pick up a book and get immersed into a story again. Reading slumps are a really weird thing, and I'm not sure why they happen, but it doesn't mean that I love books any less. Someone needs to figure that out. Maybe there's a pill that we can all take. No, we can do it ourselves. We got this. We've got our brains. Only we are stopping ourselves. We've got the power to crush our slumps, break the slump, squish the slump, and take your reading life back. It's a boot camp, it's gonna be hardcore, but in 21 days, we'll all be reading again. So, thank you so much for watching. Sorry if I was talking really quickly. I am actually very anxious because in exactly 1 week time, I am finding out my GCSE results. I'm very scared, but you know, they don't really mean anything, so who cares? I do, but who cares? I know everyone got their A-level results today. I hope that you are happy with how you did, and if you didn't get into the uni that you wanted to, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. There are so many options, so many things that you can do instead of going to uni, and if you really, really want to go to uni, take a gap year. There's always next year, and I think that I've taken a turn in this video, but hear me out. This is important for everyone, not just people in the UK. Schools put so much pressure on exams and results that we don't really get to see that there are so many things out there for everybody to do that don't necessarily involve a degree or good A-levels. So much pressure is put on GCSEs, and I'm like, all GCSEs do is get me into sixth form so I can take my A-levels, and once you're past your A-levels, they don't matter anymore. All they give you is a chance to learn, and if you've learned something over the past 2 years, that is a success. So be proud of yourself no matter what you got. A lot of the time, tests are marked wrong. Like, I think 48% of essay-based subjects are marked incorrectly. That's what the exam board said, so just remember that grades don't define you, and that's what I'm trying to remember for next Thursday when I find out my results. I'm going on holiday whilst I'm getting them, so I'm having a family friend pick them up. I'm going to Denmark again. I've already been to Denmark once this holidays. I vlogged it and I put it on my other channel, which will be linked down below. It's actually my little sister's birthday today. Happy birthday, Ella, if you're watching this. You won't be watching this, but if you are, happy birthday. And I love you all very much. Thank you for watching. All of my social media and my other channels will be linked down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and tell me if you are going to join me and battle your reading slump. We are all in this together. And I will see you next time. Good luck for your results. It'll be fine. Your grades don't define you. You can crush your reading slump. We got this.